Hi, my name is Goyland Williams. I'm from Wharton, Texas, and I'm a first-year PhD student in the Department of Communication, where I'm particularly interested in studying social movement rhetoric and Black performance theory. Within that sort of field, I'm interested in the questions of what happens when the politics of disillusionment sort of collides with understanding the ways that aggrievement works in the public square. Prior to coming to UMass, I was a forensics and debate coach at Seton Hall University, as well as a lecturer of public speaking and Africana studies. In my role as the assistant director of forensics, I was responsible for coaching the nationally ranked team of traveling weekly out of state nationally, as well as competing at some of the highest ranks of college forensics with students in ensuring that each student was well-versed, was well-rehearsed, and equipped in terms of poetry, prose, dramatic interpretation, extemporaneous speaking, oral interpretation, as well as other public address speeches. I started thinking about my own sort of interest in research, and I kept continuing my research interest in social movement rhetoric, and that kept leading me to conference and conventions where other scholars, other friends, other mentors kept affirming the work that I was doing and kept asking me, when am I going back to grad school to get a PhD? And so I started looking into UMass Amherst primarily because of the openness that the department offers at the PhD level in terms of being an interdisciplinary department that allows you to do research in media, rhetoric, performance studies, as well as interpersonal communication. I've had all of those backgrounds, and so I saw this as an opportunity to allow me to fully express the creative work as well as the critical work that I was exploring and investigating in depth without sort of many sort of limitations on what I could do here. I find that the Amherst area is very salient for attending poetry events, for attending creative writing events, and so I've loved the sort of community that I'm in terms of going to readings. Last week, just the other day, I was at a poetry reading for Jericho Brown. I know Danez Smith will be here in a few days, as well as Ocean Vong, who attends, who's a faculty here at UMass Amherst. So I really like being in the area that allows me a lot of access to amazing writers who are doing great work, and so that's really something that I get into when I'm not sort of doing schoolwork, is reading these creative works. As I've said before, the communication department is a very vibrant and ecstatic and exciting department because of the various faculty that you can work with here. We have some of the top-notch scholars in ethnography of communication, interpersonal communication, health communication, as well as in performance studies. And the latter was the reason that I sort of came here to study. I came to study with Claudio Moreira and Kimberly Perez, who are both excellent performance studies scholars who allow me to explore topics in depth and as widely as I want, and can help me to dream and imagine what types of scholarship is possible outside of the sort of dominant framework of what is considered research. I believe the Department of Communication is particularly situated and suited to foster two sort of skills that really sort of excite me. On one hand, imagination, and on the other hand, depth. When I say imagination, I mean the possibility to dream or to imagine otherwise, as if there is not only one sort of framework, one way of doing research, or of doing scholar, or doing a performing intellectual. We can be many things, we can be varied things, and sometimes we don't know the answer to that, and that's completely okay. And so I sort of delve into the messiness, the complicatedness of research and of people's lives, because we're all messy and complicated, and likewise we're all sort of implicated in that process. In terms of depth, while that does mean digging deeper and scaffolding into a topic, I also mean sort of breadth, to be able to pull from different disciplines, different fields, different subfields, different departments, and not feeling like you're out of bounds or that there's some limit. I think there's no limit to what you can do if you're willing to sort of merge both your imagination and your creative and intellectual depths.